Jake Paul and Mike Tyson now have been suspended from boxing after controversial fight in Texas. Now, why, you may ask? Now, I didn't know this, okay?
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul have just been arrested after their so-called fight turned into one of the most ridiculous spectacles in boxing history. What was supposed to be an epic showdown?
I think the whole thing was scripted. The whole thing was just a money grab. And for a lot of us that love Mike, and despite what he said in that interview with the girl about the legacy, we love him and his legacy, and we didn't like what we saw last night.
Well, it ended up being a disaster of slow-motion punches, bizarre moves, and a cash grab that had nothing to do with actual boxing.
Jake Paul just got Netflix sued. People got a big problem with this stream cut now.
But hey, looks like the joke's on them now. After making a mockery of boxing for a big payday, they've finally gotten a taste of what they deserve. They've been throwing shame all over the sport. And now, the law's got them in the ring, and trust me, this is one knockout they didn't see coming. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul walk into the ring and the world braces itself for what's supposed to be a battle of epic proportions.
A 28-year-old kid who, used to be a YouTuber, and he's worked hard to learn boxing. He really has. He's come along, but really, he's still not of that level.
I mean, come on, we've got a legendary former heavyweight champion, Mike Tyson, against Jake Paul, who's best known for making viral videos. This was supposed to be the greatest spectacle in boxing history, right?
You'd be mad, it was free. We all got Netflix anyway, right? And you got to watch the girls fight. The girl fight was good. I know a lot of people are pissed, but it was a bit of a shit show. But, what did you expect? Seriously, when you stayed home and you turned on Netflix that night, we were like, holy I'm about to see the greatest live sporting event of all time.
But what we got was more like a sad, slow-motion circus act. Tyson, at 58, looked like he'd just stepped out of a retirement home. His punches were sluggish, his footwork non-existent, and the fire in his eyes, well, maybe it was just a trick of the lights.
Tyson 7 of 34, 18%. So Tyson is averaging more punches than he did in that fight with McBride and in the exhibition against Roy Jones, where he averaged 24 punches around.
Like I said, I don't like the better keep messing with my mouthpiece.
Oh, left hook! Triple left hook by Paul! He wobbled
Mike is hurt. Mike's hurt.
Jake Paul, on the other hand, comes in acting like he's some sort of boxing prodigy, as if he's been training for years with the world's best. The guy learned how to box by watching YouTube tutorials and calling out people who couldn't resist the clout chase. His big claim to fame? Beating up washed-up fighters who are a shadow of their former selves.
You can't fight like 2 days in a row.
Wasn't the Tyson-Jake fight, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah.
The real comedy gold here was the payout. Tyson walks away with a cool $20 million and Jake Paul, just a casual $40 million. Seriously, $40 million for a fight that looked like two grandpas arguing over the last slice of pizza? This is the future of boxing. Bravo.
At any point, did you start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you noticed he was tiring out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a bit. I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
Then we find out about DJ Who Kid's little revelation, that the fighters were told not to go full throttle. Seriously, man? Was it a fight between 6-year-old kids? Tyson and Jake Paul, both over 80 years old, were asked to take it easy. This wasn't a fight, this was a staged performance with instructions to not hurt each other too much. It was a circus show, with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul as the clowns. But here we come with the ultimate fate of these two clowns. Things just went from light sparring to a full-blown legal brawl. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are now not just fighting in the ring, they're also fighting in the courtroom. Yep, you read that right. The International Boxing Association, IBA, has slammed both of them with some serious allegations, and both fighters have been slapped with lawsuits for what's now being called the scripted fight heard around the world. That's right, rigging is the new buzzword in boxing, and it's causing quite a stir.
I mean, if you didn't think that that's the way the fight, I don't know what people expected. Mike's almost 60 years old. He's Mike Tyson, but he's 60 years old. And he knew that Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him. So you knew what you were going to get.
And it's all because of the leaked script. Fans went wild when rumors started circulating about a leaked script of the fight, and let's just say the internet lost its mind. According to these leaked details, Tyson was supposed to start the fight slow and deliberately underperform, making it look like he was past his prime while giving Jake Paul a chance to shine. How adorable, right?
Mike Tyson could have knocked him out there. Jake Paul's chin was wide open, but then Mike Tyson realised, just as he was about to throw that punch, that, oh no, I'm getting paid lots of money, I can't knock him out. So ridiculous, mate. This Video's been sent to me so many times. It's went viral. People saying that Mike Tyson couldn't knock him out. See, it was a scam. It was a scripted.
Mike Tyson is facing some serious heat here. Tyson, the iconic baddest man on the planet, is now accused of being in on this grand spectacle. And he's not just getting roasted on social media. He might get arrested too for throwing a show for money.
What we saw last night seemed like something that very much tarnished his legacy for a little bit of bread, you know? And somebody will say, oh, 20 million, that's not a little bit of money. Well, you know, I was talking to my man Isaiah Washington earlier, and he was breaking it down as far as like...
In fact, there are whispers, no scratch that, rumors swirling that Tyson's legendary status might not be enough to save him from the fallout. Was he a victim, an accomplice, or just an old guy trying to cash in on a hefty paycheck? We don't know yet, but the truth is, Tyson's legacy could be at stake here.
He wasn't even good at the end, and now he's 58 there. And he's been living the kind of life he's been living. How's he going to have a chance? I'm putting everything on Paul. I'm laying 180. I think it was 180 he was getting. It was 2. I think it went up to minus 220, whatever. But it was minus 180. I'm putting everything on.
Jake Paul might be riding high on that big payday, but now he's facing a whole new kind of fight, the courtroom kind. Imagine that Jake Paul, the problem child of boxing, might be in for a very different type of fame. Can you imagine how that's going to shake up his influencer brand? He's the kind of guy who thrives on controversy. But this might be one scandal too many. The IBA could really go after him, and depending on how things play out, this could be a career-changing moment. Both of them have brought so much shame to the boxing world. Now, it might be a new normal to ask if this fight is authentic, or has it become more of a showbiz circus? Because when you watch the fight footage back, it's hard not to laugh at how choreographed it all looked. Tyson, who used to send men into the afterlife with a single punch, looked like he was just trying to remember where he left his keys. And Jake Paul? His defense was more about posing for the cameras than actually defending himself. He was playing it safe, throwing punches as if he were auditioning for a role in a Rocky remake. It was clear, this wasn't a fight for the ages.
Mike has his one move he's known for, and like he gets in the pocket, goes low and gets in, and he did that and had a clear opening on Jake, and Jake went like this, and Mike just didn't hit him, and that's the video I'm seeing everywhere, but I remember in the
Show
moment,
me that, pull that. You'll probably watch it if it's short.
But yeah, I agree, Dan. I think it's more of just like they agreed to...
It's a show fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a show kind of what they do.
Yeah.
But seriously, what's more entertaining than watching the so-called biggest fight in recent boxing history devolve into an embarrassing spectacle where everyone gets paid handsomely for pretending?
Tyson requested the 2-minute rounds, wanting to see more action. He just landed the overhand right, testing the beard of Paul early.
And everybody was saying, nice shot by Jake Paul.
Right hand by Paul, that is.
Mike Tyson, a man who once ruled the ring with an iron fist, is now reduced to following some scripted routine just for a paycheck. Jake Paul, the king of social media drama, continues to cash in on any opportunity that lets him flex on his fans. This was less about boxing and more about putting on a show. Too bad we all bought tickets to the circus. This fight has some serious company to other cases of scripted fights are starting to pop up. Is this becoming the new norm in combat sports? Do we as fans need to just accept that sometimes the entertainment aspect outweighs the competition?
Last Friday's big ringside fight could be heading to court. A Florida man has filed a $50 million lawsuit against Netflix claiming breach of contract.
Tyson and Paul might have just sparked a legal wildfire over accusations that Netflix's live stream fight was so poorly executed, fans were demanding their money back. The technical problems were bad. We're talking buffering issues, crashes, and low-quality streams during the key moments of the fight, but that wasn't the worst part. No.
In breaking news, streaming giant Netflix is being issued a class action in relation to the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. TMZ reports the lawsuit is over streaming issues and a breach of contract.
The real drama came when Netflix was hit with class action lawsuits, accusing them of deceptive practices and breach of contract. Fans want refunds, and they're not shy about it.
Sure. But yeah, I agree, Dan. I think it's more of just like they agreed to...
It's a show fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a show. Kind of what they do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when Mayweather fought Logan. It was like obvious. But yeah, I mean, listen, Mike Tyson's old as f***. I think you're right. They decided because I don't think Mike was ever going to hurt Jake, probably.
Social media exploded with clips dissecting every punch, with critics pointing out that Tyson's slow movements in the ring didn't exactly match his intense training footage. Some fans think it was a setup to protect both fighters' reputations, Tyson's legacy intact and Jake Paul's ego intact. And if you thought this was all just talk, Jake Paul's manager is dismissing all allegations of rigging. According to him, those rumors are baseless, but let's be real. Once the rigging rumors take hold, it's hard to shake them.
Everybody who, got in and getting ready for, something magical, something historic, whatever. I just want to say the same thing I say to myself. Hello, suckers. Hello, suckers. Myself included.
Boxing fans? They were livid. And why wouldn't they be? This was supposed to be a clash between two fighters, but instead, it felt like a staged performance that had more drama than the worst reality TV show. Hardcore boxing fans saw through the facade, and they weren't happy about it.
I think the whole thing was scripted. The whole thing was just a money grab. And for a lot of us that love Mike, and despite what he said in that interview with the girl about the legacy, we love him and his legacy, and we didn't like what we saw last night.
The script didn't just ruin the fight, it turned fans' skepticism into outright fury. Who could blame them? The integrity of a sport that's built on blood, sweat, and broken bones had just been thrown out the window for the sake of an Instagram post and a couple of zeros added to some paychecks. Social media erupted with memes, rants, and of course debates about the fight's legitimacy. Hardcore boxing fans are livid, claiming they've been duped, while casual viewers are caught in the middle, unsure whether they should cheer for Jake Paul's win or feel like they've been part of the world's most expensive TV show.
Oh, Jake should fight somebody Jake's like his own size, his own age. Just enough. Who knows how to box?
I want to see him do MMA with Conor McGregor. I've seen that thrown around
He
too.
would never agree to that.
I think he's been wanting. I think he's challenged him.
No shot he would do that.
And speaking of Jake Paul, this whole mess has put his influencer boxer persona in jeopardy. Can he bounce back from this? Will fans ever see him as anything more than a YouTube star with a pair of gloves? The jury's still out, but one thing's for sure, this controversy isn't doing him any favors.
Conspiracy theorists argue that Tyson, now 58, took the fight for the $20 million payday and let Paul have an easy victory. After all, Tyson is well past his prime, hadn't fought in years. Some even claim Tyson wasn't attacking at all, making it seem like the whole thing was staged for Paul to get a win over a legendary boxer.
Then there's Tyson's legacy. Once considered the untouchable champion, now he's under fire for possibly selling out.
I think the whole thing was scripted. The whole thing was just a money grab. And for a lot of us that love Mike, and despite what he said in that interview with the girl about the legacy, we love him and his legacy, and we didn't like what we saw last night. What we saw last night seemed like something that very much tarnished his legacy.
From a legendary status to the star of a Netflix drama, is this the end of the road for Iron Mike's reputation? Some fans feel like they've been hit below the belt, not with a punch, but with betrayal. The real question here is whether boxing now about entertainment or authenticity. With influencer boxing on the rise, more fans are asking whether the sport is losing its soul in favor of a paycheck. The line between sports and spectacle is blurring faster than Jake Paul's punch, and the question isn't just if it's happening, but that how far will it go? So, did Tyson and Paul rig their fight? Probably not. But the rumors are so juicy, they're going to keep this controversy alive for a while. And as both of them navigate the fallout, it's clear. This fight will be remembered, but not for the reasons they hoped.